Good evening, Belize. It's Tuesday and you're watching News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly, and here's what's making headlines tonight. BTL is moving ahead with its proposal to acquire SpeedNet, and Cabinet is now weighing its next steps. Meanwhile, Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat is also speaking out as the government prepares to freeze telecom rates, raising new questions about the potential buyout. A former call center employee breaks his silence on an online credit card scam. The CCJ overturns a Court of Appeal ruling in the Gilberto Sutz case, meaning 2 police officers are now facing jail time. And senior counsel Hubert Elrington finds himself in trouble once again after the High Court orders him to pay a hefty sum in an estate dispute. These stories and more are coming your way in the next 60 seconds. Stay with us. News 5 starts now.
Time to jumpstart your 2026 with Cellular World. Stay connected with a new smartphone starting at just $119. Find tablets for kids, students, professionals, and creatives starting as low as $129. Create unforgettable memories at home with clear image and sound on a new smart TV starting at only $369. Take your music everywhere with JBL headphones and speakers that keep up with you on all your adventures. Or level up your fun with the latest video consoles and gaming accessories at the best price. And enjoy a fresh start at home with appliances designed to make everyday life easier. Jumpstart your 2026 at your nearest Cellular World location: Belize City, Belmopan, San Pedro, and Orange Walk. Or contact our virtual store at 615-5141.
Good evening and welcome back. It was a long day in Belmopan where Belize Telemedia Limited spent hours before Cabinet making its pitch for proposed SpeedNet takeover. It's the latest step in a series of consultations BTL has been holding with key stakeholders, including the Social Security Board, the Communications Workers Union, and the NTUCB. After nearly 3 hours of presentations and back and forth, Cabinet says it will wait until BTL wraps up its full round of consultations before announcing a final position. But we did get a reaction from BTL chairman Markelm Lizarraga, who told News 5 that the team was able to answer Cabinet's concerns. And he maintains that because BTL belongs to Belizeans, any benefits from a consolidation would ultimately flow right back to the public.
I think it went very well. I think Cabinet was very much engaged. They had a lot of very important questions that they wanted answered. And I think we did a very good job in explaining why it is that we're proposing, what we're proposing, and we'll see where it goes from there.
And the presentation entailed what?
Well, it entailed all the reasons that we thought that we needed to extend our ability to raise revenue through efficiency. The BTL is an essential services provider, and we have a tremendous responsibility to ensure that our system, our digital infrastructure remains robust. It grows, keeps up with the technology because of the role that it plays in our economy. We can only do this effectively by cutting out the needless duplication in the industry, by cutting out the waste, by cutting out all that we don't need and using the capacity that we already have. It's not that we have to grow that capacity, it's that we have the capacity already. So why not use it? Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize, so any benefits to this through this proposed consolidation would bring benefits to the people of Belize as the owners, and it would bring benefits to the people of Belize through services.
We know the social partners have been meeting, series of meetings over the last week and into this week. One of those things coming out of that meeting is for you to resign from BTL. Are you prepared to resign if pressured by the social partners?
I'm not going to answer that question, okay? I'm not going to go there. I think the Prime Minister appointed me, and I think the Prime Minister can remove me. I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister. So if the Prime Minister thinks that I'm not doing his job, that's something for him, not for the social partners.
And do you believe that it was received well, your message to the Cabinet today?
Absolutely. I think it was received very well. As I said, it was a very engaging 2 hours or 2 hours plus. And we tried to answer every concern that they had.
And there's another development coming out of BTL tonight. Chairman Markelm Lizarraga says the company is moving to classify media houses as essential services. That announcement follows last week's press conference from 3 major media outlets, where concerns were raised about potential censorship if services were disconnected. But according to Lizarraga, there's no need for alarm. With this new designation, BTL will now give media houses a courtesy call before any utility is cut for non-payment. A move he says is meant to protect the flow of information, not restrict it.
You know that we've been accused of pulling the plug on some media houses. And we did a review to see, in fact, the good thing about our systems is that our systems can tell you when you were billed, when you were not, when you were disconnected, etc. All of that is there in our billing system. And there was a mistake, and we wrote a letter of apology to Channel 7, and I think Cabinet has asked that we share it because it's not the policy of the government, and it's not the policy of BTL to unplug anybody. And I took that really seriously, you know, because I certainly did not ask that Channel 7 be unplugged or any media house. So you'll be receiving a copy of that letter so that we are giving our reassurances that we're putting the media as an essential service type where we would communicate with you before we cut you. Now, what happened with the billing system is if there is a balance due by a certain day, it cut you automatically. We don't go down the list for say, if you pay, you pay, you pay, you pay. No, we have a billing system that does that and does what it's called dunning. It cut you if you don't pay. But what we're going to be doing now is what we do like for hospitals, police, other essential services. We not cut them. We would call them and say, hey, you have a bill. Kinda. So we're putting the media houses onto that plan where before any disconnection is done for non-payment, we would call you and say, please pay your bill. Before we would just cut you, or the system would cut you, but now we're going to make sure that we call you I remind you, pay your bill, otherwise you could be disconnected.
And tonight we're learning more about that proposed statutory instrument tied to the telecom shakeup. Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat weighed in today after the Prime Minister revealed that the SI would freeze telecom rates during the transition period. But that brings us to the central question. Does drafting an SI mean the government is backing the consolidation and that the buyout is basically a done deal? We put that to Minister Shabat.
Well, it was a cabinet meeting, so we had to deal with government businesses. And as you know, Belize Telemedia came in to do their presentation to us this afternoon.
What was the presentation like?
I think it was a thorough presentation. Cabinet had not yet been briefed, and so we welcome this presentation today.
Did the information help those members of the cabinet to make a decision, a position?
Well, cabinet has not made a position. We're waiting for the process to take place. We understand there are some consultations going on, and we want to allow that to happen first.
Tell us about this SI that the Prime Minister spoke about.
Right. The PUC is preparing an SI, which will be sent to the Attorney General before it comes to cabinet. And that is to ensure that things, for example, like there's a transitional period. During that period, rates will not be raised. Bundles will not be changed. Subscribers will not be allowed to be moved from one rate to another unless they specifically require it, and things like that.
Transitional period means something changes. What's the change that is anticipated?
Well, it is anticipated, as you may have heard in the media, that there's a proposal to consolidate the two the telephone companies. Yes.
Yes, but making an SI for it sounds like government has made a decision to move forward.
No, not at all. As the regulator, I think PUC has to prepare for every eventuality, and I think it is out there, it is in the public that this is being discussed.
Tonight, we're taking you inside a growing credit card scam that's quietly bleeding local businesses of thousands of dollars. Our investigation has uncovered a clear pattern. Many of these fraudulent charges can be traced back to stolen payment information taken from inside Belize's BPO sector. And in a rare turn, one former BPO employee who was fired for stealing that data has agreed to talk. He's speaking out anonymously and only after the business he scammed cleared his debt. He's now walking us through exactly how the scheme works, how agents bypass security, how the information moves, and how quickly it can be taken, sometimes right in the middle of a customer call. Paul Lopez begins our report with this former agent saying it's really happening behind the scenes.
News 5 is digging deeper into a sophisticated credit card scam that's costing local businesses thousands of dollars. Our investigation shows that many of these bogus purchases trace back to stolen payment information taken from inside the BPO sector. And in a rare move, one former BPO employee who was fired for stealing that data has agreed to talk. He speaks to us anonymously and only after the business he defrauded cleared his debt. He's now detailing exactly how the scheme works and what he says happens behind the scenes.
All call center different, right? All center different when they call to obtaining people's personal information. I will not so call center when you punch in the person, the number, it disappears at X1 time. So there's no way you could get the number there, because every time you put in a number, the number disappears. Then they got so call center where the number they not disappear. They just mute the call. Meaning that the person who will listen back to the call, if you grade you know I hear the call. And now I hear what you say, well, customer information, so that black out, that the part of the PC, you know? PCI. But we, as agents, I think, we're the click on your smart, while you punch in a number, you can copy that at the same time, from a blank page when they see on the screen. That's how call center got the screens recorded and son got it recorded. You know, you could, while you punch in a number, then you could just paste a copy from a blank page and send that to yourself. You could get access to that number. And then they got, so call center we got like apps where you could access to your phone. So when you got the app there for your computer, when you don't send that to yourself on the computer, you gotta up it on your phone, so you automatically go to your phone to yourself. So you're not doing that work, but you still have access to that number on your phone through the app.
So with strict surveillance and supervisors constantly on the floor, how did he manage to slip through?
Like I said, they respect what you give people, I respect people that give you. I don't know a person that act wild or they panic or feel the holler for the one there, walk come or be a troublemaker. Someone say I'm not really a troublemaker, then I got no reason for the circle use too much. Suspect anything and then you don't have a good agent. So worse than I got nothing to say, right? But I make way. Stay true to be there. Just the way you associate yourself with and how you carry yourself.
When his company eventually connected the dots with help from a local business he had scammed, he assumed the police were next. But there were no charges, just a termination. By then, he had already gathered so many credit card numbers that he couldn't even keep count. He says stealing that data can take just a few minutes, right in the middle of a customer call.
It could be quick. Can you go in when you don't get what seal, if you say get what seal, like, I say, yeah, seal. You have to go through your script with the person, make sure you go over when they purchase, 2, 3, 4 times or 2 times, depends. To make sure they understand, alright, remote you want to buy, alright, this is the remote, this is the TV remote. We use this kind of battery, or you program to this TV, or I could program the remote for you right there when you get it, or whatever, you know. So it takes you a month of time, depends on which time you want to spend on the line with the customer, providing the customer the best customer service possible for make sure you make the sale, they can remember that coupon every time too. So you could get that in a 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Be real with me, how much credit card information you thief, or how much clients you stole their credit card information?
When I say thief or stole, because then they give me that. If you thief that or stole that because you forced them to give you that earning, you know? And I say thief, we not say thief or stole, because they still don't do nothing when it comes to that, like how other people they do and how regular people may they do, you know, and obtain a lot, a good amount, but not a lot what I use, but they just, or a good amount just to say, alright, certain one no work with just use on it, so. It's
still a crime no matter how casually he talks about it. And tonight, we're learning just how far some agents go. He says stolen credit card numbers have practically become a side business. Agents use them to buy food for big groups of co-workers, then pocket the cash from whoever ordered it. Even more troubling, some of this stolen information is now being sold on the streets, raising serious concerns about how widespread this scam has become.
We don't want to judge people by eras when they call from or whatever, right? But that means other people, they got other people, a lot of people work at the call center where being a gang, so you charge and then nobody know, because they probably not go through the file or the police record or thing like that where they in the streets, and they have the idle mindset as well. They'll say, alright, I got access to credit card number. They listen to their own scamming music and they think that they will influence all of that.
What do you mean by scamming music?
They got music with a lot of well-known chap the line Jamaican Trinidad depends.
These revelations paint a troubling picture of data security in the BPO world and of a street-level market for stolen financial info that's only getting bigger. With businesses left to absorb the losses, pressure is mounting on authorities to crack down. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Coming up, CCJ restores manslaughter convictions in Sutt's case. More when we return.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when He shall appear, we shall be like Him. I may have a very expensive camera. It may photograph many precious moments and experiences in my life that I may never want to forget. It may win many awards for me. However, it can never photograph the change that takes place in the heart of a person who comes by faith to receive Christ as their personal Savior. One may have their picture made on the day of their confirmation or baptism, him, but this in no way can reveal that new person in Christ. The Bible says, it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. The very best thing about you is not what you are, but what you're going to be when Jesus Christ returns. Invite Christ into your life today if you have not done so already. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
In the heart of the Kaya district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
My data done and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Today, the Caribbean Court of Justice handed down a major decision, one that brings new life to a case Belizeans have not forgotten. The CCJ has reinstated the manslaughter convictions of 2 police officers accused in the 2015 death of 18-year-old Gilberto Sots. Sots died while in police custody on Key Cocker after being picked up for questioning about a burglary. Investigators later found he had been beaten, allegedly by officers Leonard Nunez and Hallett King, causing a fatal heart attack brought on by blunt force trauma. The CCJ's ruling today overturns a Court of Appeal decision that had set those convictions aside, and it sends the matter back to the appellate court to decide on sentencing. It's a major turn in a case that sparked national outrage more than a decade ago. Tonight, News 5's Brittany Gordon takes a closer look at the ruling and the long road to justice in the death of Gilberto Sots.
Back on June 8, 2015, chaos erupted on Key Cocker as residents rioted over the death of 18-year-old Gilberto Sots. He'd been picked up for questioning about a burglary and died inside the Keycocker police station. A post-mortem later found that he suffered a massive heart attack caused by blunt force injuries to his head and body. Police constables Leonard Nunez and Halleck King were charged. Today, the Caribbean Court of Justice put those manslaughter charges back in place after the Court of Appeal had previously thrown them out.
The court has considered this matter, has considered both the written and oral submissions, and we have arrived at consensus. So all five of us agree on the order that will be made. 1, the appeal is allowed. 2, the convictions of the 2 respondents are reinstated. Ms. Vidal, that would be the appropriate term?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. And the matter is remitted to the Court of Appeal for the hearing and determination of the appeal by the Crown on sentencing.
The allegation against officers Nunez and King is a serious one. Investigators say the pair had brutally mistreated Sutts while he was being questioned. And today in court, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Cheryl Lynn Vidal, laid out exactly what evidence had been brought against the 2 officers in earlier proceedings, giving the judge a clear picture of the case that's been building over time.
There was a person in custody, Manuel Guerra, who was outside of that room. He could not see what was going on in the room, but his evidence was that he was able to hear what was happening. And he gave evidence of hearing bawling and pleas to stop and a slapping sound, and then hearing everything go quiet. And shortly after, he saw the victim Sutts, whom he had known before, being taken out, appearing unconscious, by both of the respondents.
Following their son's death, Santorino and Carmelina Sutts demanded justice. Sutts had been picked up by police in connection with a series of burglaries on the island, offenses his mother, Carmelina, insisted he could not have committed.
When the burglary happened, that's the Sunday night, my son never made up on the island. He made it at Belmopan. Yeah, because he got a school, the Belmopan Baptist High School. He needed a second farm. Yeah, and he never made up on the island when that thing happened.
3 days after Sutts died, island residents marched in solidarity with his family, demanding justice. Then in 2016, outrage grew when charges against the officers were reduced from murder to manslaughter because prosecutors said they didn't have enough evidence for a murder case. In 2019, the men were found guilty of the charge. This was later overturned at the Court of Appeal. Vidal explains the grounds on which the appeal was made.
In the premises, we would allow Mr. Nunez's appeal on the first and second grounds of appeal concerning the judge's direction on intention. We would also allow Mr. King's appeal on the fourth ground of appeal concerning the judge's failure to exclude prejudicial evidence.
Vidal flatly dismissed those arguments, and the Caribbean Court of Justice ultimately threw out the appeal. This means that King and Nunez will return to court to face the manslaughter charge, turning a new page on the Sutts' lengthy battle for justice.
If I say the police killer, maybe I the judge wrong. I don't know.
The case now returns to the Belize Court of Appeal for sentencing proceedings. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
A High Court ruling has finally delivered closure for the family of the late James Lightburn, ending a years-long battle over his estate. Justice Javed Mansour found that senior counsel Hubert Elrington, the executor trusted to manage the estate, failed to account for or distribute hundreds of thousands of dollars owed to the beneficiaries. At the heart of the case is Lightburn's daughter, Jasmine, who never received her share of the $460,000 US earned from the 2017 sale of a 562-acre property. The judge said Elrington never opened the trust account required under the will, never explained where the money went, and kept the family in the dark. To make matters worse, Elrington never filed a defense and barely took part in the proceedings. The court accepted the claimant's evidence in full, with Justice Mansour calling Elrington's conduct a serious lapse, especially for an attorney who should know the law. The court has ordered Elrington to distribute all estate funds within 30 days, pay 5% annual interest back to 2017, file full, accurate accounts for each year he handled the estate, and pay $10,000 in costs. The ruling will also be sent to the General Legal Counsel and the Bar Association of Belize, raising the possibility of disciplinary action. This isn't the first time Elrington has faced scrutiny. In November 2025, the General Legal Counsel suspended him for 6 months after finding that he accepted $6,000 from Orpha Martinez to file a claim against Scotiabank Belize, but never did the work, failed to communicate with her, and broke an undertaking to repay the funds. For the Lightburn family, this judgment is a long-awaited win after years of frustration and uncertainty. A domestic dispute turned violent over the weekend, leaving a woman hospitalized and a mother and son behind bars on attempted murder charges. 38-year-old Prunella White and her 19-year-old son, Jermaine Belisle, were arraigned today in Belize City. Police say the pair attacked White's girlfriend, 36-year-old Samira Gentle, during an argument at their Central American Boulevard home early Sunday morning. According to investigators, White allegedly chopped Gentle with a machete while Belisle stabbed her with a knife. Gentle was rushed to the KHMH in critical condition with multiple wounds. Because of the seriousness of the charges, no plea was taken and no bail was offered. Both were remanded to the Belize Central Prison until February 25th. Police say White later turned herself in and admitted in a recorded interview that she chopped Gentle. A knife, a machete, and blood samples were collected from the scene as evidence. In 2025, the government rolled out a new law to help tackle the surge in domestic violence cases, promising easier access to protection orders. But months later, some of the law's key provisions still aren't in effect. Under the legislation, senior justices of the peace would be able to issue emergency ex parte protection orders in exceptional situations, like on weekends or public holidays when the courts are closed. But before they can use that authority, they need specialized training. So what's the holdup? There are growing questions about whether that training has even started, along with reports that some applicants may be asked to pay a $50 fee to get a protection order. We took those concerns straight to Attorney General Anthony Sylvester.
What has to take place as well is a training exercise where these senior justices of the peace, although they're empowered under the law with the power of a magistrate, they clearly have to be further trained as it relates to the specific power in issuing a protection order and those which are set out in the Domestic Violence Act. And so those are things which are in the process of being done and being conducted.
Do you know if it was put into practice over the Christmas holidays?
No, it wasn't able because of the training. You see, because we don't want to just simply rush and just empower persons who may not necessarily have sufficient training. Because as you will appreciate, the balance has to be struck. Clearly, there has to be this provision to allow for persons in these circumstances to be able to access justice. But at the same time, we want to ensure that those who will dispense with justice, that they know what they're doing. And so that balance has to be struck. One of the things that we thought that utilizing the police station is that you have readily available a police officer, whereas you would appreciate that at a court, you don't necessarily be able to have a police officer readily to be able to actually go out and serve the order. No? So we think that actually it actually is much to the benefit and advantage of someone who's in need, with the service being able to be provided at a police station.
And the cost?
That again has to be worked out, because as you will appreciate, this is done outside of working hours, so all of those logistics, those have to be worked out as well.
Constable Kenrick Ball made history recently as the first male police officer allowed to wear dreadlocks while on duty. But that moment may have been short-lived. Police Commissioner Dr. Richard Rosado has now warned Ball that the hairstyle must go. It's a flashback to 2019 when several female officers were disciplined for their hairstyles, a controversy that ended in a major constitutional ruling. The court sided with the officers, setting a regional precedent. And the attorney who argued that case successfully? Attorney Sylvester, who today is the Attorney General. So where does he stand now as Ball faces the same battle?
So the way it works in terms of when an issue arises that requires some legal representation or some legal advice, the respective department or ministry would write to us and request advice. We haven't, that is the Attorney General's ministry has not received a request for advice or representation on the matter as yet. So we'll not be able to speak about the specifics, but what I can say as it relates to a case that I did when I was in private practice, the Chantelbury case. So that case, the police department had invoked one of its regulation, I think it was Regulation 7, and that regulation provided that as a female, and this is very important to note because that case and the principles applied later into how the court would interpret the application of the rule to a female police officer. So a female police officer, they can wear their hair for a certain length. So it has to be above the collar. So what you had in those circumstances, the police officers, they demonstrated, and look, that's done that we have in dreadlocks, they could still conform with the rule, and that were a fall of the rule. And so what the court had found is that on its face, the rule was not discriminatory. I'm not too familiar, and we haven't been seized with the specific facts of the case that you are alluding to, and so I cannot determine or I cannot speak to what may or may not necessarily be the advice that we would offer. But suffice it to say that as it relates to discrimination, the discrimination matters usually are fact sensitive, meaning you have to look at the specific facts before a determination could be made.
After the break, Culture Tuesday. Belizean music aims beyond borders. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
This year, Belize felt more connected than ever. We stood with the moments that shape us, our culture, our youth, our stories. And we lifted young dreams even higher, powered by advancement and possibility. Everywhere, Belize is growing, and as the nation evolves, so does the way we connect. This year, Belize showed its light, and we were honored to drive innovation across the country. As we look ahead, our promise is simple: to unite communities, nurture dreams, and continue leading Belize's digital transformation. From our Digi family to yours, wishing you a bright and prosperous 2026.
Happy New Year!
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Every night, I bring you the stories that matter, delivering the facts with professionalism and heart. As an anchor, my goal is to keep you informed, connected, and engaged with the world around us. But the news isn't just about the headlines. I'm Sabrina Daly, and each week we look on the bright side with stories that inspire, uplift, and celebrate the strength of our community. Join me every night as we uncover stories that inform, inspire, and connect us. I am News 5.
In the heart of the Kaya district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easy for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Come to banquet, find your way. Engines roar at the break of day. Volvo outboard surf the waves. Castrol oil is what they crave. Live with power, feel the sound. Heavy machines shake the ground. Riding Honda, feeling proud. Rev it up and shout aloud. Feel the wind against your skin. Stars so wide, let's begin. At banquet where dreams ignite. Gear up, let's take flight. Kohler's power runs our towns. JCB lifts heavy pounds. Find the tools to build your dreams. Banquip's got the best machines. Grip the wheel and never slip. Feel the rush, it's time to trip. Every brand you know and love. Banquip fits you like a glove. Feel the wind against your skin. Stars so wide, let's begin. At Banquip where dreams ignite. Gear up, let's take flight.
Banquip, equipment, parts, service. We represent quality.
Tonight on Culture Tuesday, we're tapping into the heartbeat of Belize. It's music. From the roots of Punta and Brook down to a new wave of artists blending Afro-Caribbean, Latin and urban sounds, the creative energy in Belize has never been stronger. The talent is here, the vibe is real, and the momentum is building. But the big question is this: how do we take Belizean music to the world, especially our dance hall and soca artists who are ready for that global stage? Well, producer Devin DJ Perf Parafit is putting in the work. He's in Belize City shooting a brand new music video with a team of rising artists, all pushing to elevate Belize's sound. And as we found out, the conversation goes far beyond making a hit. It's about management, identity, culture, and consistency. Here's Paul Lopez with that report.
Belizean music has always carried the heartbeat of the nation, whether it's the roots of Punta and Brockdown or the fresh wave of artists mixing Afro-Caribbean rhythms with Latin and urban songs. Talent today is undeniable, creativity is overflowing, and the energy in the music scene is higher than ever. But how does Belize take its music to the world, especially our dance hall and soca performers who are ready for that next level? Well, today music producer Devin DJ Perf Perifit is taking a step in that direction, working with a group of artists in Belize City on a brand new music video.
I think we figure out certain aspects as to where we're to try ahead as musicians, with the goal, which is to really take Belizean music outside. The only thing I think we reach want to stop with like what's next, a lot of the artists, reach one stop one gap as to like they did a certain level of Belize, but they can't really go no bigger than that.
For producers like DJ Perf, artists such as Stig and King Room are proving that international listeners are curious about Belize's song. But their success also exposes a bigger issue. The talent is here, the pipeline isn't. Jamaican music business consultant Lloyd Stanbury says that across the region, what's really missing is solid management, support systems that can actually move artists to the next level.
We don't have enough persons who can provide management services, and other services like publicity, marketing, design. People tend to look at the music industry as just the performers and the recording artists, when there are a whole lot of other professionals that support the creatives to make it work. Yeah, so we have been weak in that area.
But Stanbury says it's not just about management. He argues Belize is culturally unique, blending both Caribbean and Latin American roots,
which should be taken advantage of. That should be the emphasis in the development of the music industry, and not so much to try to duplicate or follow what Jamaica has done. It's a totally different country.
So how are Belizean artists setting themselves apart while still riding the wave of today's popular rhythms? We asked Belizean dancehall artist Bernard Unlimited Cayetano.
Well, first of all, I just keep it unlimited. I just keep it as myself, because then I write about what I say. I write about what happened right now. I don't try facade. I don't try add nothing to it. You feel where I come from. What happened right now, that's the way I write. But what I say, that's the way I choose to compose about, you know what I'm saying?
Unlimited and others say their Belizean identity comes through naturally. They write from the life they know. But a conversation about taking the music industry to the next level cannot be had without discussing finances.
Funding is an issue throughout, yeah? And when you're talking about cultural industries development, I think the state needs to recognize that it has a significant role to play in supporting incubators and services that will assist the individuals to develop their businesses. Yeah, a lot of the governments in the region are strapped when it comes to cash, when it comes to their budget, and they have other priorities. But if your culture, and we have the same argument in Jamaica, if your culture is important or as important as you say it is, then you should invest in it.
Can creating music pay the bills?
I believe that we need unity more. We need to understand each other. We need to push together. If you want to come from, they have a lot of festivals where they happen in the Caribbean. You feel every year. You understand? I believe Belizeans need to get on it. We need to train with artists there. We need to work on with artists there and put them in the position where they need could represent the country.
DJ Perf argues it takes more than funding. Artists must stay consistent and keep releasing strong work for their audience.
I could tell you, if I have one song, let's say I'm an artist and I have one song, we make $100 US a month. Imagine I have 10 of that. You know, imagine I be consistent, and in the span of a year I drop 3 videos, in the span of 2 years I don't have about 6-7 videos. Each of them song then I make 700, like 100 US a month, you know, and it add up. So then you can make money after it. So consistency that way they miss.
And as Belizean artists continue to refine their sound and test global markets, industry experts agree that sustained investment, structure, and consistency will determine whether Belize's music can truly break beyond its borders. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
When we return, aunt challenges state after girls taken into care.
That's me. My data and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter. Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
Every connection we make
is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Need to submit your sickness benefit claim online and have a physical medical certificate? Here's how you can do it. First, go to ssbportal.org.bz and log into your My Social Security account. Next, on your dashboard, click Benefits and choose Forms. Review the requirements, then click Continue to proceed. Click Apply under Sickness Benefit to start your claim. Review and confirm your banking information. If it is not correct, select No and follow the steps to update your banking details. If your banking information is correct, select Yes. Next, if your illness is not related to an injury at work, select No and proceed to upload your medical certificate. Select your claim period and confirm your employer details. Read the declarations and click each to agree. Click Submit and you're done. A confirmation email will be sent to you. Your employer will also receive an email with your claim details and a request for your salary information. If needed, submit your sickness benefit claim online and receive real-time status updates.
Three young sisters, just 4, 6, and 8 years old, were recently removed from their home and placed in a children's facility after raising concerns about their living conditions. But their removal sparked another issue. A frustrated aunt who says the family was never given the chance to care for the girls themselves. According to Diani Stain, a capable close relative was ready to take the children in. Yet that option was never put on the table. The girls had been living with Stain's mother until her passing last year, which forced them back into the environment they were just taken from. In a social media post, Stain called on Belizean authorities to work with the family to find a safe, permanent home for the sisters. And after speaking out, she says she was finally able to begin the legal process to have the children placed with loved ones instead of in state care.
I reside in the U.S. and here is actually the family member is first option. The social worker must consider family first before going to other avenues. Versus Belize, when I was reading the law, that's not the case. I think that's really twisted in the system because we put these kids in these homes when they're going through stuff and they see it as a punishment. They don't see it as I'm taking you away from the situation you're in, because even if the situation is bad, in their eyes, that's still mom and dad. And you putting me in the system is, I don't know these people. Another issue with the system is the parents, in this case, it's my sister. She was given visitation rights, supervised visitation rights, but it's been 2 weeks and still no information. We don't know which home the kids are at. We know they are in a home, but we don't know which home because the social worker says, oh, we need at least 2 weeks to release that information. Then I need time to schedule a visit. These kids need to at least hear it's going to be okay. That's all we at least want to just see them to say that, like, it's going to be okay. We will figure it out. But they're just there. They just took them and didn't even say, okay, this is what's going to happen. Can you give your goodbyes? It's for you to just give them, that little word just to feel safe that we will figure it out. And then also in this specific case, my aunt was actually at court. She wasn't allowed in the room. And she spoke to the social worker, and the social worker said, okay, they would have to request for you to be in there. So he knew she was out there, but he didn't request for her to be in there. If you had requested, the judge would have seen her, and probably, the judge would have been like, okay, let's consider her. Let's do the background search to see if she's a good fit to take them.
Child neglect continues to be the biggest reason Belizean children end up in the care of the Department of Human Services. And the Belize District leads those numbers. Whenever a child is believed to be living in an unsafe environment, whether it's neglect, physical abuse, or sexual abuse, the department follows a strict process before any removal takes place. Most of these cases start with a tip from a relative, a teacher, a doctor, even a neighbor, prompting officials to step in. But this week, questions were raised after 3 children taken from an unsafe home weren't immediately placed with a willing family member. Today, we spoke with Sean Vargas, Director of Human Services, and he says every report is fully investigated to make sure each child is placed where they'll be safest. And he walks us through how that process works.
We follow what is called a continuum of care within the department. And so always it's family that's prioritized for placement. It is always family that is prioritized. After family, we look at foster parents who are registered with the department. And after foster parents, then we look at the institutions. So placing a child in an institution is the last resort of the department. The last resort of the department. And one additional component when it comes to family placement, we believe that we have family members who are capable, who are willing and able to support. But if you don't reach a certain threshold within what we have as our substitute care agreement and home visiting report, then we cannot place with a family member. Because the ultimate responsibility is safety and protection of the child. And not because they are willing and able, it means that the placement is safe. So those are some of the things that the public have to understand. The public needs to understand. Our purpose is safety and protection. And so we have to look at all the avenues to ensure that the safety and the protection of every child that's in the care of the department is paramount. The department can make an effort to meet the needs of the family. And so even if it means to provide grocery on a monthly basis, to provide a small stipend for the family to care for an extended family member, the department makes an effort to do that. When it comes to long-term placement, especially with teenagers, because they are among the difficult population to place, for evident reasons. We even go as far as helping with building materials to help to renovate a home, as long as we know this is a long-term placement for this individual. So those are the extent that what we would do or how we would get things to work for placement.
In early December, the Vital Statistical Unit launched its Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, an online platform meant to improve access. But only days after the launch, the transition proved to be rocky, with reports of system glitches, long lines, and mounting frustration. And while most of those issues were quickly addressed, Attorney General Anthony Sylvester also anticipated some revenue loss with the new system. On Monday, he revealed that there has been a decrease in revenue and explained why.
As you will appreciate, that there are hiccups that take place and occurs with respect to these matters, and it's an ongoing exercise trying to ensure that there is efficiency in the delivery of a very critical, very vital service. And so we've had hiccups, but I can say that we are improving and that we are reaching the quality of service that is expected to be provided to the Belizean people.
Have you been noting the decrease in revenue just yet?
Well, yes. So as I mentioned when we spoke in December, obviously it will result in a decrease in revenue, but ultimately one of the government's aim or one of government's responsibilities to ensure that persons have access to these, what are referred to as life event certificate. And so in a balance, the decision was taken that altogether there will be a loss in revenue, but this is more critical and important for the development of our country and for the prosperity and benefit of our people.
Up next, MOHW urges measles vaccination as cases rise in Guatemala.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal.
Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno.
Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
Me, my data and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Start your day the right way with your morning boost. Get moving with energizing workouts, refreshing yoga sessions, and easy tips to keep your mind and body in balance. From fitness to personal growth and positivity, we're here to kickstart your mornings with motivation that lasts all day. Wake up to wellness. Your morning boost, every day at 6 a.m.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, Small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easy for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging Belizeans tonight to double-check their vaccination records. This comes after Guatemala confirmed a dozen measles cases, including in areas right along our shared border. Health officials are warning that measles is one of the most contagious viruses out there. And with Belize's immunization rate still below the 95% needed for strong community protection, the risk is real. Today we spoke with Dr. Natalia Baer, Maternal and Child Health Technical Advisor at the Ministry, who explains what Belizeans should be doing right now to keep themselves and their families safe.
Measles is a highly contagious viral infection, and the only way to protect ourselves from getting the measles is to be vaccinated. The departments in Guatemala that are reporting positive cases, 2 of them are right neighboring to Belize, which is Isabel and Petén. So we need to, we're asking the public to check on their vaccination status and make sure they get vaccinated. We provide the MMR vaccine at 12 months of age and then a second dose at 18 months of age. And then for older persons, 10 years and older, we give the MR. And for persons who are traveling, make sure that you are vaccinated. If you don't recall if you were vaccinated or you have no document to prove that you are vaccinated, or you know for certain that you were not vaccinated, just get the vaccine and have that on hand to demonstrate that you are vaccinated. We need to protect our children and the elderly, and we need to protect the community, so that's an effective way to protect ourselves. The measles, unfortunately, have the capacity to find those unvaccinated and cause the infection, because that is what is happening. The cases in Guatemala are unvaccinated persons that are getting positive.
All right, so how serious would you label the risk to Belizeans?
We travel a lot to Guatemala. Guatemalans come a lot to Belize. So we have to be vigilant and identifying signs and symptoms at the border entry, the point of entry in the country, and just ensure that our population understand that the risk will always be there if we are not vaccinated.
Visual artist Yaoling Lee is gearing up to officially launch the second edition of her book, Beautiful Belize City. The first edition, released back in 2024, showcased vibrant urban scenes from across the city, paired with writing from Lee and 22 Belizean authors. After the success of that first release, she's back with new paintings and fresh insight into her creative process. As part of the launch, Lee has opened the Beautiful Belize City exhibit at the Mexican Cultural Institute, now on display through April 23rd. We stopped by today to take a look at the collection and hear more about what audiences can expect from her upcoming book.
This is an exhibition of more than, I think, 56 of watercolor that include, if I divide them in, 1/3 is the urban sketches, which is right here, you can see, and many are featured in my book, Beautiful Publicity. And to make this exhibition more interesting, I have a selection of figure studies on the right hand side, and then I also have a selection of flowers, and those are all painting from life. If I talk about flowers, those are the flowers from my backyard, or I purchase from outside pot and I paint them in my backyard. And if it's a figure study, my sitter, she sit in my studio, then I do the study. And those are urban sketches right behind me. Those are the one I drive around Belize City and I sketch them. So in the book, who is the best person to write my experience? Me. But I have to tell you, I'm not a writer. I write awful. But I think I can write my experience. I can tell a story, what happened when I was doing paintings. So I'm the main person write for this book, Beautiful Publicity. But then I recruit 22 Belizean writers. They are great, gorgeous, talented Belizean writers.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.